Buying multifamily real estate should not be complicated, it should not be hard. In fact, it should be as simple as buying a wholesale property or a house to flip. And let me explain where so many people get this wrong. They find themselves paralyzed by the fear of talking with brokers because they know in their mind that the broker knows that they're new. Or they make the excuse in their mind that I can't reach out to any other multifamily investors in my area because I'm in competition with them, or they just don't have time for me. There's so many different limiting beliefs that are running through our minds at any given point, but in this video, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how to go direct to apartment owners, how it's so simple and how it's so easy, and how you can automate this process for yourself to get a multifamily deal under contract within the next 90 days and ultimately having success in the multifamily niche. So without further ado, let's jump into the first step, which is finding and locating the apartment owners. So what is the first step to finding the apartment owners? And I'm going to give you a few apps that you can look into, that you can research, that we personally utilize in our business. And some of them are apps, some are websites, but the first one that we're going to be using is Dealmachine.com. We have a Dealmachine account for our single family flipping and wholesaling business. We're going to utilize that to find apartment owners. Now, along with Dealmachine, we are going to utilize virtual assistants that we will find through Upwork. I will show you exactly how to do this. And then lastly, if you are looking for smaller properties, you can probably utilize PropStream.com, which is fairly reasonable. I believe it's $97 a month. And I'll have the links below to every single one of them. Let's jump onto my computer right now. I'll show you how we find these larger apartment owners through the Dealmachine platform. So on Dealmachine, what we are going to do first is go to the Maps tab. And on the Maps tab, we are going to zoom into or locate any cities that we might want to target. So for example purposes, I am just going to do something that I have never targeted before. And let's say that is Clintonville, Wisconsin. So now what I'm doing here is specifically looking for apartment units. So how do you do this from the overview? Like sometimes you can zoom in and it might pan to the side a little bit, but when you're looking at it from the overview, typically what you're looking for is something that looks like this. And as you can tell, this looks to be a senior housing facility, but we are going to tap to add that. And now that is locked in. This looks to be an apartment complex as well, some garages right here. And it might not be, but again, if we search this street pick, there is some apartments. So we're just going to keep scrolling through the city, and this is a little bit monotonous. So like I had mentioned in the prior section of this video, you can outsource this task to virtual assistants, but here's some more apartments, and you are literally just going through, pinning these different sections, and then we will be compiling a list of property owners, and there is quite a few apartments in this area. We even add some self-storage. So I'm going to do that as well. Here's a mobile home park. If you wanted to add that, feel free to. We'll just keep scrolling around the city, and then you will probably understand what we're doing. But we scroll through every single street. We make sure we don't miss any, but we'll just keep adding the information. And Dealmachine is extremely nice because it gives you the past sale dates, sometimes even the past prices that the properties had sold for, who the owner is, so on and so forth. And then what we will do is export that from Dealmachine and go from there, but I'll show you that in just a second, so stay tuned to this video while I scroll through all this information. Okay, now that we found all the leads on the map, how do we export it from the Dealmachine platform? And I will show you right now on my screen. Now we will go to the Leads tab, and we are going to specifically go to the Filter section. We're going to go to Added By. We'll put my name, you selected, date added within the last 24 hours. And then what we want to do is sale date, sold over 5 years ago. You could do 10 years ago if you really wanted to, but then it gives us the option to include properties missing that data. And then we click apply. So as you can see here, we have 106 leads added. What we would then do, because obviously this isn't just in that Clintonville area, you can see the ones with the Clintonville address, gives us the owner's name, whether it's corporate owned, absentee owned, and it gives you some examples right here. They bought it for 300, 600, 1.3 million, 124,000. I think those were some single family houses right there. But then we would go to more and you would export these leads. So once the leads are exported, then we have a CSV file full of a bunch of information. A bunch of information with LLC owners that we have no idea who the actual principal is of that organization. So the next thing that you and I need to do is we need to go to some sort of LLC lookup page, and I prefer to use Bizopedia. So you are going to go to Google, type in Bizopedia, and then what we are going to do from there is, say for example, we are looking for we'll go to VB Venture LLC. Now it looks like the registered agent on file is Amy L. Vandenberg at 4501 North Watershed Way, Appleton, Wisconsin, so on and so forth. Filed 16 years ago, and she may be an attorney, she may be the owner. Normally, what Bizopedia has is principal, and then it would say either this person's name or some other person's name, and that's how you know that they are the owner. But again, I am going to assume in this case that Amy is the owner of VB Venture LLC. Once you find the owner, then you're going to input that information into your spreadsheet. Instead of the LLC name, it'll be the owner's name that you just found, or the registered agent's name. And once you have the registered agent's name, their address, you're going to do what I like to call skip tracing, which for those of you that do not know, skip tracing is the system and process for finding owners' phone numbers, email addresses, or possibly even another primary address that you can send mail to. And the system that we use for skip tracing is just batchskiptracing.com. Generally speaking, you can skip trace records for as little as 15 cents per record. Now, after you skip trace those records, we will go into step number 2, which is going to be a cold outreach to these apartment owners to see if they would consider an offer on their property. But in the meantime, watch this video right here. It's a deal that we bought. We actually got paid from the bank $3,400, and it shows you the power of working with local lenders, which you can do for these deals in particular and have a ton of success. So if you're interested in doing deals for $0 out of your own pocket, watch this video and have a great rest of your day.